Guardians, led by Coach Steve Bennett, versus your Lincoln Cardinals, led by Coach Cody Schnaufer. Assistant coaches Jonah Amaya, Tyler Shea, Blake Long, Landon Sherman, Eric Schnell, Alan Hopper, Chief Manager Annika Cassidy. Head coach Cody Stopper, assistant coaches Jonah Amaya, Tyler Shea, Blake Long, Landon Sherman, Garrett Schnell, Alan Hopper, Jacob Hockett, Garrett Cheadle, team manager Annika Castaneda, trainer Jamie Nitz, supported by athletic director Sean Maley. Wells has won the toss. Wells will receive. Tonight we welcome members of our Lincoln Youth Football varsity team, 7th and 8th graders, to the sidelines for warm-ups. Lincoln Youth Football offers flag and tackle options for youth living in or attending private school within the Lincoln High School boundaries. You know, a young boy or girl who'd love to play next season, check out the website and get added to the mailing list. LincolnYouthFootball.info. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem.
Thursday night PIL action on Oregon Sports Beat. Big challenge today. The Lincoln Cardinals hosting the Ida B. Wells Guardians from Lincoln High School. I'm Chris Clayton with Dave Hall here on Oregon Sports Beat. Dave, a big challenge today for Lincoln. This is an Ida B. Wells team that's 5-1 to start the season, 4-0 unbeaten so far in the PIL.
This is a huge game for both these teams. Wells is tied with Roosevelt at 4-0 for the lead in the PIL. Lincoln still is at 2-2. They're tied with Franklin for 4. So this is a big game, a win here for Wells. They're going to need it because Roosevelt is playing McDaniel tonight and probably got a win there. So, and Franklin, of course, is playing Jefferson. They'll probably get a win. So Lincoln pretty much has to have this game to stay in the running. In addition, as you know, the top 32 teams in the state will be in postseason play. Lincoln currently ranked 31.
Right there on the cusp. We'll see if first-year head coach Cody Schnoffer can get Lincoln back into at least the Columbia Cup, into the playoffs this year. Wells has won the last two matchups the last couple of years, 38-8 last season, 22-6 the prior year. The Cardinals going against a very talented Wells team coming off a 54-32 win over Jefferson 6 days ago. When we're underway, Wells won the toss, elected to receive. It is kicked deep by Finn Davies for Lincoln, retrieved by Wells and out across the 25-yard line. On the return, that's where the Guardians will start with the ball. They mark it at the 28-yard line.
Other action tonight in the PIL, I mentioned Roosevelt and McDaniel, Jefferson and Franklin, Wells and Lincoln here, and Grant and Cleveland. By the way, the Cardinals will get the Generals next Friday night.
So the Guardians will start with the ball again at their own 28-yard line. This is a Wells offense that likes to stick to the ground game. They only average 42 pass yards a game, but how about 357 rush yards per game for this Guardians offense and that power T, wing T offense. And they come out under center, as they always do. A little bit of misdirection. It's a handoff right up the middle, and immediately a gain of 9 yards to Wyatt Andler. He is a second-team All-PIL running back from a year ago with a nice chunk gain of 9 yards in the opening play of the game for Wells.
Where the Cardinal have been tough this season is up the middle on run defense, but out of that power T formation, they run a lot of plays. He sweeps to the right and to the left.
We talked with Lincoln head coach Cody Schnoffer before the game. He said it's really tough to simulate this in practice, so they really weren't able to perfectly simulate it as the execution for Wells is so good. They go back to Andler up the middle, and he's got another first down, this time to the 42-yard line. 5 more for Andler.
And that player in the middle who's played well for Lincoln all season long is Leo Coriani.
Terrific debut season for Coriani, third on the team in tackles. He's going to have a big responsibility today against this tough Guardians front. First and 10 for Wells. They're up to their own 42-yard line. Movement along the line. Flags flying everywhere.
Flag down on the play.
Spencer Reed is the quarterback for Wells, the junior, the starter this season.
Went with a hard count. Did he pull the Cardinal offside? It looks like he did. By the way, Patty Ryan, number 57 for the Cardinal. Of course, he's out for the rest of the season, tore ACL, so he won't be in the middle there for the Cardinal tonight.
Junior going down with that ACL, a blow to this Lincoln defense that lost 41-10 last week against Roosevelt. Here's the 1st and 5. It's a handoff left side, and they've got another gain of about 6 yards. Make it 7 for a first down.
If you can see when Wells comes to the line of scrimmage, every Lincoln defender is within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They don't have anybody in deep coverage. They've moved the 2 safeties up close.
Why not with this Wells team, again, only averaging 42 pass yards per game. It's not to say they can't throw the ball, it's just they don't really care to under 4th-year head coach Keith Bennett. This is their system. They're across midfield now, and they go right up the gut to Andler once again. He lowers the shoulder for a gain of about 4 yards.
Andler with the carry.
Reed has great movement with his hands on those hands-off. And, you know, when you're running a power T like that, you put the ball in the belly of the fullback and you either leave it there or pull it out. And Coach Schnoffer was saying, I watched some films of him and it was hard to tell who had the ball.
Yeah, you think it's simple. It's, oh, he just has to hand the ball off. But it's really more complicated than that with his misdirection, his sleight of hand, and ability to fake with the ball. Reed this time goes to Gus Rasmussen for his second carry, and he's got 8 yards and a first down again for Wells. So 5 carries for 33 yards so far in this drive for the Wells offense. 3 carries to Andler and 2 to Gus Rasmussen. Just a sophomore, averaging more than 8 yards per carry this season. They're all the way up now to the Lincoln 34-yard line. Lincoln last year only winning 2 PIL games. A big win here, and that would already get their 3rd PIL win of the season. But they got their hands full here on this opening defensive drive. A series of fakes. It's a run left side and a gain of about 5 yards. It looked like Hudson Jones on the carry to the far side. Give him 4 yards.
Poole with the carry.
Actually, that was Jackson Poole on the carry for 4 yards.
Second down.
Sometimes with how Breed is able to fake and all the bodies moving everywhere, it's hard to tell who has the ball. And you can't imagine how hard it is for this Lincoln defense.
So far, all this drive on the ground.
Yep. With 3 minutes into this game, they go left side. No, actually right up the middle, gain of a yard. That's Andler. So now a 3rd and 5 on the way. A big opportunity for this Cardinals defense.
And the cornerbacks and safeties have moved up even closer to the line of scrimmage.
You'd think this could be a passing situation for Wells, but it doesn't seem like Lincoln is too worried about that.
Well, they don't have anybody split outside. They've got 2 tight ends.
Right. And a couple of threats at tight end that can catch the ball, but they stick to the ground game. Up the middle, gain of only a couple, maybe 3 yards to the 27 on the handoff to Marcellus Griffiths. So they come up short. It'll be 4th and 3 for the Wells offense.
And again, the center of the line that time for Lincoln looked pretty good, holding there steady in the middle.
And this Wells offense has some really big offensive linemen.
Whoa.
Led by Holden Carson at 6'6", 290. Can he open up a hole here? 4th and 3 for Wells. They go to Andler up the gut. Andler breaks through. He's got a 1st down, and he's got a touchdown. 30, 27 yards. Andler to the house.
Wells 6, Lincoln 0, pending the time.
And that play took 4 minutes. 7:51 the time on the score.
How about that? It felt like this Lincoln defense was doing such a good job stopping the run before that big play on 4th down for Andler. That's his 11th rushing touchdown of the season. One of the leaders in the state in that category. He was a 2nd-team All-PIL running back selection last year. Probably more so this year. They go outside. Reed kept it, and he walks in for 2. 8-0 start to the game for Wells. As they march it down the field, they go 9 plays, 72 yards, and they did it in 4 minutes and 9 seconds, Dave.
5 of those plays, 5 of the 9 were runs by Andler.
Yep. Big time drive for Andler and the Guardians. All right, let's hear from our sponsors. We start with Bio Lounge. Bio Lounge is a Northwest Portland functional medicine clinic that partners with patients to support their unique health goals. Whether aiming to treat a condition, prevent chronic disease, or optimize health, our highly trained providers leverage the latest in scientific research and technology to provide exceptional care and outcomes. We believe health is a lifelong journey and are proud to support the Lincoln football program.
You know, one of the stats that could keep is plus minus for team scoring, and Wells has outscored their opponents 55 points on the season. Lincoln has been outscored by 54. The leader in the PIL, Roosevelt, they've outscored their opponents by 98.
That'll be a big one next week for Wells, playing at Roosevelt.
That'll be huge.
Yeah. Big showdown. Here's the kicker, Griffin Scott. He goes short with it. And it's 2 teammates that are fighting for the ball for Lincoln, and they're down at the 35-yard line.
One thing that's been very good for Lincoln this year is kickoff returns, both Parker Barnett and Emmett Togney, and that time Wells elected to kick the ball short and give it to Lincoln at the 35.
A good call, Dave. The scouting for Wells paying off there. Keith Bennett saying, hey, forget that. Let's not even kick it deep. Let's squib it short. But it does give Lincoln some pretty good field position here.
Barnett and Togni are excellent at returning kicks.
So the Lincoln offense that's averaging 16 points a game this year, 7th in the PIL, trying to find some early footing. They go with the toss play to Togni near side, spins off one tackler, lowers the shoulder, and a tough run. A gain of 3 yards for Togni on his first carry of the game.
Togni does a great job of getting through the initial hits at the line of scrimmage. When he does, if he gets into the second level of defense, he's gone because he has blazing speed.
And a lot of running backs, that right there would have been a loss of a yard or two. But
Exactly.
Togni turned that into a 4-yard gain. He's averaging nearly 6 yards per carry this year, just a touch under 500 yards rushing in his senior season. They go right back to him in the gut. He's got another nice gain. 6 more yards and a first down, maybe just short for the Cardinals. They do give him that first down.
Togni's proven he can carry the ball 30, 35 times a game, so
First team All-PIL running back last year. You got to be good if your team's 2-7 and you're selected first team All-Conference. Certainly the real deal. He's got an offer to play at Lewis and Clark next year. See if we maybe get some more offers rolling in. Fresh set of downs from their own 45. They go back to Togni. Some patience, but the no hole opens up. He's taken down in the backfield, led by Griffiths.
Parker Barnett's been lining up wide to the left, and the Cardinal like to throw the ball to him. He's out there in one-on-one coverage. Let's see if we got a play coming to him.
It's a Lincoln offense that averages just over 100 pass yards per game. Barnett is the one leading the way with 152 yards receiving this season.
We're 6 minutes into this game. You know how many passes have been thrown?
None.
None.
Maybe we're due here. A 2nd and 10 for Lincoln. Togni was able to get back to the line.
Here comes Barnett in one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, Barnett down to the near side, and he's looking that way. The quarterback, Eldridge, spinning and thrown down in the backfield. The pass rush was there too quickly, led by Beckett Mercereau with his 2nd sack of the season. Loss of 7 yards.
And that's been one of the problems so far for Lincoln. They get receivers on the outside. They get them clear. They just don't get Eldridge enough time to throw the ball.
Liam Eldridge is the junior quarterback. He's thrown for 620 yards this season.
And Oxford and Brotherton check in for the Cardinal at receiver.
So they're bringing in some more weapons on the outside.
Especially Enzo Oxford. He's looked very good the last couple of years, and he's a big target.
Come out 4 wide. The 3rd-year starting quarterback, Liam Eldridge, takes the snap, but a flag is down. This play's blown dead.
False start, I believe, on the left tackle on Lincoln.
2nd penalty against the Cardinals. The first was an offsides on defense. This time a false start. Push it back to even more difficult. Now it'll be 3rd and 22.
Remains 3rd down.
Cardinal are 2 and 4 overall. Wells 5 and 1.
Well, the defense for Wells this year, the thing that maybe you could poke a hole in, they're averaging opponents 29 points a game. Eldridge trying to find something on 3rd and long. Oh, it's picked off right to Mercereau. And Wells will have the ball at the Lincoln 27. 7th pick of the year by Eldridge.
You know, Eldridge looked to me, I'm not 100% sure, like that was a jump pass. Like he was up in the air when he threw it, and he didn't have anything on it because he wasn't planted to throw it, and it was picked off by a lineman.
Big time play by Mercereau, who's got a sack and an interception now in this game. The linebacker who is making plays, coming in as the team's leader in tackles for loss. Junior's a playmaker, and he's got Wells in great position, already up 8-0. And with the football, Reed, the quarterback, takes the snap. He hands it off near side, trying to get around the edge. Griffiths, and down he goes. Maybe a gain of a yard. Pursued well by the Lincoln defense. It was A.J. Reverman, the team's leading tackler, that got there first. So now it's a 2nd and 9 for this Wells offense. Wells last year finishing 5-5. They were 4th in the PIL. Guardians taking a big step forward. If they can get this win here, they're already surpassed last season's win total. And a win today for Wells would give them 6 wins in a season for the first time in 10 years. They go up the middle, and it's Hudson Jones who is able to pick up 4 yards. Sometimes it looks like maybe somebody's got the ball running around the outside. You have to wait for a moment to make sure. He's so good with that sleight of hand.
This is my 6th year doing Lincoln football. For the 2 years before that, I did Wilson, that is now Wells, and they were very good. Their head coach was Ken Dulio, who was the head of the gun task force for the Portland Police. So he talked with authority when he talked.
Yes. There's a 3rd and 4. Reed kept the ball on the left side. Jukes thrown down. They'll be short, 4th and 3. Well defended again by the Lincoln defense in those black uniforms today. This is how last drive ended. A 4th and short. Wells was able to get in for a touchdown with Wyatt Andler.
I think I saw that on 4th downs, Wells has 47% success rate on that.
It's pretty good. See if they can make it happen here. They've got to get to about the 16-yard line, just outside the 19. Uh-oh. Oh, no, it's an offside.
Hard count. That's the second time Reed has drawn the Cardinal offside.
Untimely penalty again on the Cardinals. 3rd Lincoln penalty. And this one the most costly yet. Fresh set of downs, a 1st down for Wells thanks to the infraction.
Reed comes up, gets set, and gives that hard count right off the bat. Twice now he's drawn the Cardinal off.
A lot of times the quarterbacks, we talk about their pass yards and their touchdowns, but with Reed, a lot of it is his ability to manage the game in this wing T offense. He went up the middle to Andler, and a swarm of tacklers finally take him down at the 8. A physical run of 8 yards for Andler.
53 yards on 6 carries for Andler. Of course, 29 or 27 of those on 1 carry.
He's done that a lot this year, about 7 yards per pop. Andler is an explosive player, combination of power too. 2nd and 4 at the Lincoln 8-yard line. Less than 2 to go in the 1st quarter. This is an electric Wells offense that's averaging 38 points per game this year. That's 5th in the state and tops in the Portland Interscholastic League. They go right side, cutting through the middle and in for a touchdown. 14-0 Wells. This time it's Rasmussen who takes it in for the score. 3rd touchdown of the year for Rasmussen. So a dream 1st quarter for Wells. They open the game with the ball, march down and score, get an interception, score again. Let's see if they can get the 2. They go in with an end around, and they get in for 2 more. They give it to Griffin Scott, the tight end, and he walks in for 2, 16-0. Wells leading Lincoln. All right, let's hear from Elite Real Estate. Michelle Shahan, our dedicated realtor at Elite Real Estate, strongly supports Cardinal football, just like a strong offensive line. Ready to score your next home? Make contact with her today, Michelle Shahan and Elite Real Estate. Chris Clayton and Dave Hall here with you on Oregon Sports Beat. You couldn't have drawn it up any better for 4th-year head coach Keith Bennett and the Guardians. The dream 1st quarter on the road.
Right now, total plays ran. Wilson 15, Lincoln 5.
One of those, a huge interception. Wells marching up and down the field.
Well, Wells, I think, has made it clear they don't want to kick the ball to Parker Barnett over on the right side. Let's see if they kick it away or they go short again.
Griffin Scott is the kicker. Scott is a University of Utah baseball commit, terrific athlete. He'll play, I was going to say in the Pac-12. He'll now play what will be Big 12. They're joining the Big 12, so he'll be a Big 12 baseball player for the Utes next year. And obviously on the diamond this season for Wells too. It's a left footer and they go again that same spot, but this play's blown dead. Maybe he didn't get the signal.
I was worried that kick was not going to go 10 yards.
Yeah. It's a close one. It's an offsides against Wells, so that'll push him back 5 more. It may be fortunate for Lincoln because where that ball was going was kind of dangerous territory, almost an onside kick there.
You know, as he came forward to kick the ball, he stopped about a couple of feet behind the ball, and the lineman kept going past him, and then he kicked it.
So you're saying that's on him?
And that's on him. He
Yep.
stopped. I think he was worried, how am I going to get this to go just where I want it to go, about 10 yards down, so he's thinking about it.
He's calculating his angle there.
Right. Wrong thing to do, think.
So the ball's pushed back to the 35. Let's see if Scott does the same squib or onside style kick here. They get the ball at the right hash. Scott looking to that opposite side. Got to get to the 45.
Yikes.
It does, and Wells has it. A flag is down.
I don't know if he touched that before it went 10 yards. A Wells player caught it in the air.
Yeah, they kicked it from the 35, so to me that made it to the 45 before he touched it. It was close.
Okay, it was close.
Let's see what the call is here.
All right, the referee's going to say what the call is.
They're huddling up and discussing this play here as it stands. Yeah, so the ball is given to Lincoln.
Okay.
Well, maybe you have to make it still to midfield.
Oh, it's a personal foul. 15 yards are going to mark off.
So it's Lincoln football, and with a personal foul, they're at the 32-yard line in Guardians territory. Huge opportunity for Lincoln.
I didn't see what happened to bring that on. It did look to me like you said, a Wells player recovered it, but given possession to Lincoln and then added on 15.
Yeah.
It had to be a dead ball personal foul.
I'm not sure why Lincoln has the ball here, to be honest, but it is Lincoln football. I formation, offset I. They go with a little misdirection.
Oh.
Thrown down. Barnett is chucked down by this senior defensive lineman, Marcellus Griffiths. Loss of 7.
So far, 5 carries for Lincoln, minus 4 yards.
This Guardians front is winning the battle on both sides of the football so far. Just over a minute to go in the first quarter.
Well, you're going to have to loosen the defense up a little bit, and that the thing that worked really well for Lincoln last week was slant patterns. And let's see if they throw the ball in the middle.
They tried to throw once in this game and were sacked quickly in the backfield by Mercero. See if they go to the air here, or at least next play on 3rd down. Offset I, under a minute to go. They do throw, and it's a miscommunication thrown over everybody's head, incomplete by Eldridge.
Barnett was out there on the right. He went down and he ran a little curl route, and Eldridge threw behind him. I'm not quite sure where they got confused on that. Eldridge over to talk to coach. I don't particularly like that the quarterback comes to the sideline every time to get a play. You waste that time that the quarterback can be in the huddle. Lots of teams use hand signals, or in the pros they use the receiver, but Eldridge will come over and talk to the coach every single play.
It's a lot of running for the quarterback, jogging back and forth, sideline to the huddle and back, each and every play. And it's a 3rd and 17 for Lincoln at the Wells 40.
Quad receivers to the left.
Bunch of 4 wideouts. He fakes there. Eldridge is trying to run in the middle, thrown down in the backfield. Wells had that one scattered out. It was Hudson Jones and Shankara Carson taking him down for a loss of 3.
Now it is 4th down and 20. And I think at this point in time, I think it'd be wise to punt, but I'm not the coach.
It's just disappointing for Lincoln to start with the ball at the Wells 33. And now you're in maybe punting territory here as the final seconds run off the clock in the first quarter.
Cardinal do have a quick kick play. That's when they send Eldridge back, and then, they're going to let the clock run out.
Yeah.
So
They'll discuss it and plan it out. See what happens in the opening play of the second quarter. 16-0 our score. Wells, they stranglehold on this game over Lincoln so far. Let's hear from Garfinkel Orthodontics. Garfinkel Orthodontics, celebrating 50 years of helping Portland smile. Dr. Judah is an LHS alum from 1992, and the entire team at Garfinkel Orthodontics are proud to support Lincoln High School and excited to help your family smile. Complimentary consultations at garfinkelortho.com. Garfinkel Orthodontics. Chris Clayton and Dave Hall here with you on Oregon Sports Beat. Dream start to the game for Wells. Feels like Lincoln needs something over the course of this quarter to get a burst of momentum.
The Lincoln punter is Lance Ricker, number 24. I don't see him on the field. Eldridge trots out. It is 4th down and 20.
We'll see if they go with that quick kick that you mentioned, Dave. Or they try and convert this 4th and 20.
What happens is Eldridge takes a step back, then takes a step forward and kicks the ball. Nobody deep. There it is.
And the ball bounces at the 20, takes a nice Lincoln bounce and roll inside the 10-yard line. Mark it right at the 10. Well done. 33 yards on the quick kick with no return, and Wells will start with their worst field position of the game.
The idea is to get that kick away, make it a pretty good kick, and not let it go in the end zone so it comes back out to the 20, and that time Eldridge did a great job of that.
Liam Eldridge with a precise punt there. So Wells, who had just run the ball so well in this game, 89 yards running the football so far for Wells. 2 touchdowns. Start with the ball at the right hash. Spencer Reed, the quarterback, has not had to throw yet, but he has ran the ball once and done a nice job with a couple hard counts. They go right side, and they've got a lot of room to run. Out across midfield, Togney able to chase down the ball carrier at the 36-yard line. It's a big-time carry that time from Gus Rasmussen.
54 yards on the carry that time. You know, I've got Rasmussen 3 carries and 70 yards.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I misidentified him earlier. Number 2 is Spencer Litwin.
Right.
So Rasmussen has a couple carries for 70 yards, and Litwin's the one that had the touchdown earlier. Big time run there.
Oh, okay. You got a correction on the scoring. Instead of Rasmussen, it was
Litwin who ran in for the touchdown earlier.
Okay.
So the Litwin family watching is saying, hey, that was Spencer with a touchdown, man.
By the way, thanks for joining us here on Oregon Sports Beat. We have people listening to us all over the country.
That's right.
Grandparents, parents.
First season at this brand new, beautiful stadium here.
Wow.
Giving everybody access to be able to look at on these games. Incredible place for high school football. It's a 1st and 5, a penalty against Lincoln. The ball's moved up, and they go to Andler up the middle. Andler bouncing off players, fighting, driving the legs, and Andler's to the 21. 10 more for Andler, who now has 7 carries for 64 yards.
You know, I was talking to you about offense on the speed for Togney. He showed it there running that ball carrier down.
That should have been a touchdown if not for that Togney speed to chase him down. Togney's been bottled up so far on offense. There is a player down and shaken up for Wells.
Liam Eldridge right below us throwing, so I'm thinking maybe he's trying to get that arm loose to get in there and throw the ball.
See if they can get some of that aerial attack going. No passing attempts yet for Lincoln. They do have that one, that incompletion. They've tried a couple times and had the player, or had Eldridge taken down in the backfield for sacks. Again, there is a Wells player down at the 27-yard line.
You know,
shaken up.
I might tease this a little bit. We might have a special guest at
That's
halftime
right.
who happens to be a head coach here at Lincoln. So I'll let you know that, and I'm hoping that we manage to get the coach up here.
So you don't want me to say who it is? We're going to hold it secret. Okay.
We're going to keep the secret,
We'll
although I may have already said too much information.
Great tease. Halftime will be A great show this time around. 10:58 to go, still in this second quarter.
First and 10.
And the player down is big Colden Carson for Wells. 6'6", 290. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the PIL. He's got 7 collegiate offers, including Linfield Pacific and Lewis and Clark.
All right, Lewis and Clark, I need to go down there and talk to him.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay, or at least back as soon as possible, as he's walking with the trainer right now. So a big cog on the offensive line is out now for Wells. A 1st and 10 at the Lincoln 21-yard line. Misdirection, they go around the edge to Griffin Scott. He's got room, he's inside the 10, and a first down for Scott, marked right at the 10, 11 yards.
Reverman with the stop.
That's his first carry of the night, and he gets 11 yards on it. Just the classic power T sweep to the right. Lots of blocking. Got outside the defensive end. 11 points, or 11 yards, I'm sorry.
They just really make it look easy, the way they're able to execute these pretty complex plays. A lot of moving parts and bodies moving around, weaving among one another. 1st and goal. And is it up the middle? It is. It's Andler to the 1 and into the end zone. Another Wells touchdown. Wyatt Andler is 2nd of the game from 10 yards out. (22-0) Wells.
You know, I did Roosevelt last week, and I'm not sure that the Rough Riders can contain the Wells offense. That'll be a great game.
That was without arguably their best offensive lineman. Colden Carson not even in the game. They're still able to have a couple big runs to get in for the touchdown. Now they're going for 2 again. There's movement. That might be the only way to stop Wells, is if they stop themselves. Movement, a false start. It's on Wyatt Andler in the backfield.
So the red, white, and black haven't been able to stop them, but the yellow did that time.
Yes. Lincoln could use a little more of that.
Right.
And if you think back, there's been, on the first 2 drives for Wells, there were 2 4th downs. So you're thinking, okay, now you got them in a stoppable situation, but they still couldn't stop him. Wells converting on 4th twice. Well, one was a penalty, mind you, but still, the opportunistic offense of the Guardians. So they'll have to try and convert this 2 from the 8-yard line. Spencer Reed will hand it off. They go up the middle and short. Rasmussen not quite able to get in. 22-0.
So they're 2 of 4 on 2-point conversions. Made the first 2, made the first one, missed the second one.
2 of 3.
2 of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something to maybe give Lincoln at least a little bit of a boost of confidence here. Let's hear from our friends at Premier Jets. Premier Jets specializes in worldwide service and has experience visiting nearly every part of the world. We provide fast worldwide transport service to 6 continents, including all Pacific Islands. Our services include an air ambulance, on-demand cargo, or charter flights. Premier Jets, one of the sponsors here at Oregon Sports Beat.
I think Oregon Sports Beat ought to get a charter flight to some Pacific Island.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Now the crew all is in.
They'd have you first class up front. Chris Clayton and Dave Hall here with you.
I lived in Hawaii for 3 years. I mean, we can show everybody around.
There you go. Well, it's a cliche, but when you talk about must-score drives for Lincoln, you feel like they need some points here, need some life. Kick a little deeper this time by Wells, and it's out of bounds.
Right, let that go out.
Togny just didn't even bother to go after that ball. Good field position again for Lincoln. Remember, last kick was an adventure.
Well, you know, if I'm looking at Wells and I'm thinking right now what's not working so well, they haven't even tried an extra point kicking it.
Yeah.
And all of the kickoffs have been somewhat strange.
They have, and it feels like they came in with a game plan for those kickoffs, but I don't think it's working the way Keith Bennett wanted.
Right, I don't think that's exactly what he had drawn up.
So the offense, well, they're going to make them re-kick. Good call by first-year head coach Cody Schnaufer. He said, let's make them re-kick. You don't often see coaches elect to make your opponent re-kick in that situation, but the way things have gone today with what you're talking about, he's saying, hey, kick it again. Let's see what you got.
Well, the strength is those two backs that are back there, Togney and Parker Barnett. And if the kicks aren't going deep, look, they're moving up right now. And they're walking up about another extra 5 yards. They're hoping they get pretty good kick, pretty good run back, and maybe get out towards midfield.
Barnett and Togney chomping at the bit back there at their own 25, hoping for a chance to touch the football. What has been some unique kicks so far by Griffin Scott in this Wells special teams unit.
Good
Scott.
word, unique.
There it is. They kicked it deep and goes over the head of Barnett. Oh, it straddles the sideline and into the end zone. Barnett was probably thinking, hey, that might go out. But
if it went out of bounds, that would have been better, but it went back into the end zone. Now it'll just come out to the 20.
So well done by Griffin Scott. He got on track there. His best kick of the day with a touchback. And the ball's out to the 20-yard line for the Lincoln offense. So far, minus 8 yards rushing for this Lincoln offense. That's actually their total yardage as well. Have not been able to complete a pass either.
We have 2 attempted passes. Wells hasn't tried any. Eldridge just has attempted 2, completed 1, but he completed it to the wrong team.
Right. An incompletion and an interception so far. And a timeout on the fields. I believe it was taken by the defense. Either way, it's a timeout. Both teams a chance to huddle and talk things over. What a job fourth-year head coach Keith Bennett has done for Wells. The year before Bennett took over, Wells, who was then Wilson at the time, went 0-8. Since then, they are on the rise. They went 2-3, then 2-7, 5-5 last year, and Wells is already 5-1 this year.
That year that they went 0-8, I think they gave up the most points of any team in the state. I think it was like about 320.
Not a winning formula.
No, it was not good.
So they bring in Bennett, who was the head coach at 4A North Marion. He went 5-5 there, and part of what he did at North Marion is he rebuilt that program. They were struggling, and then he built them to success, and that's part of what attracted Wells, and he's doing just that with the Guardians. Here's Togney on the right side for Lincoln. Best run of the day, and a really good one. Togney battling for 23 yards to the 43.
See what I said about Togney? Once he gets to the line of scrimmage, he's got good speed. Got to the outside that time and came down the sideline. 23-yard gain. Togney now with 32 yards on 4 carries.
He's now at nearly 600 all-purpose yards in the season with rushing and receiving combined with 7 touchdowns, an electric weapon. Finally able to get him free. And they go back to him, blown up in the backfield, but he's still on his feet, scrapping to the line of scrimmage. And that's a great run for 0 yards there. Should have been a loss of 3.
That game against McDaniel, he had 161 yards rushing in the first half, 30 receiving yards in the first half, 191. He didn't play on offense at all in the second half. He finished 191 yards total offense, all in the first half.
Now maybe his success can open up the passing game a little bit. If not this play, but eventually make the linebackers and secondary come up a little bit. Respect Togney in that running attack. They're an offset eye. They go with a fullback dive up the middle and a gain of about a yard on the handoff to Cameron Rank, the senior.
Rank caught a couple of passes last week for some big games. That's his first touch of the game tonight.
Last week, Lincoln with the season low 42 rushing yards against Roosevelt. So struggled to establish the run. They fumbled a couple times in that game as well. But they did have a season high passing with 195 yards through the air. They need to lean on that here kind of feels like a similar situation. They are at about 20 rush yards, but see if they can get something going through the air.
They're in man coverage.
There's 2 receivers out left on 3rd and 9 for Lincoln. Eldridge will hand it off to Togney, and it ripped down in the backfield. Just nowhere to go, almost immediately. A loss of 2.
Going to have to punt. I'm still thinking, over the middle is open. I like those slant routes, but they haven't lined up anybody in the slot here recently. Maybe that's something to take a look at. Lance Ricker, the punter, last week had a lot of trouble on some high snaps.
Ricker, the senior punter, takes it and gets rid of it. Bounces at the 35 and takes a Wells bounce bit the other direction. They spotted right at the 35. That's where Wells will start with the football. 7:46 to go here in the second quarter.
Great snap from the long snapper that time. That corrected what the problem was last week. And Ricker got away a nice high punt.
Talking with first-year head coach for Lincoln, Cody Schnaffer, before the game. He said he told his players this week, he said, Wells is the model program. He respects them, and they respect what Wells has done. The way the Guardians are able to execute. And right now his team having a hard time stopping this power T attack for the Guardians. Schnaffer wants to take a timeout. His coaching staff coming out in the field to discuss things with the Lincoln defense.
This game traditionally has been a big rivalry game because these are the only 2 West Side schools in the PIL. So they've always felt that games between the 2 of them decided, who's the best on the West Side in the PIL.
And it was interesting when we spoke to Schnaffer before this game. He said, a lot of people in the community and at the school say it's a rivalry, but he didn't really feel like his players thought that it was a huge rivalry. And that's not to say they're disrespecting the history or anything like that, but there's not as much emotion and passion behind this rivalry as of late for the players.
Lincoln and Grant has always been a big rivalry, and the reason for that are they are 2 of the most outstanding academic schools in the state, and they challenge each other in all these academic things.
Lincoln had 4 straight wins in this series over Wells between 2015 and the COVID season in 2021. They go to Andler up the middle, Wells does. They get about 4 yards to the 39. Andler now up to 78 yards rushing on the game. But Wells has won the last 2 games in this series. A pretty dominant win last year, 38-8, 22-6 the prior season. And a strong start for the Guardians.
Those 78 yards rushing are on 9 carries.
Yeah. Incredible game so far for Andler. He's on the brink of breaking 700 total yards for the season. This time they go to Griffin Scott outright. Scott stepping through arm tackles, and he's got a first down. 6 yards for Scott.
And Wells has not thrown the ball, and of course the answer to that is they don't need to.
Right. I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't.
Now this is game number 7. On this season, they've thrown 29 passes. That's it.
And completed 13.
Right. 13 completions
in
the whole
6
season.
games.
You would think, man, that team must be struggling. No, they're 5-1. They're going to be 6-1 if they win this. 253 pass yards. So when they do throw it, they tend to get a big play, as you can imagine, off the play action.
13 completions for 250 yards, almost 20 yards of completion.
Right. And that's a 1st and 10. They go right back to the ground game. Up the middle, this is Griffiths, who's got another chunk gain. 10 more to the Lincoln 44-yard line.
I like that dive play a lot. Quarterback turns his back to the line of scrimmage. You can either fake the handoff to the fullback on the dive play or go to the outside. That dive play has really been working for Wells.
And that body language of Spencer Reed, the junior quarterback, that subtle type of things like turning his back to line of scrimmage and how he fakes the ball in his hands, those are important. I mean, on the season, Reed only has 3 passing touchdowns, but he just takes care of the ball so well. No interceptions. He's only fumbled once. Big part of this offense success is the play of their quarterback, Reed. They get 3 more yards on the carry up the middle, and a series of flags come flying in at the end of this play.
The back judge threw that flag. That's many times that's a holding call.
As it stands, it's a 3-yard gain by Gus Rasmussen.
Here's the signal, holding.
Holding Wells.
And it
Declined.
2 holdings.
Holding
One of
Wells.
them's declined and one of them's accepted.
That penalty is accepted.
That'll push Wells back. That's only the 2nd penalty on Wells. Personal foul and a holding so far.
So it's going to be first down and 20.
And they got to get to the Lincoln 34-yard line. 6:01 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 22-0 Wells. For an offense in Wells who averages 38 points a game, right on track. They go with that dive play up the middle, and it's only a gain of maybe 3 yards max.
You know, think about that. The quarterback turns his back to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't know what's coming at him, and he makes those sometimes the handoff on the dive play. They've went with that a lot tonight.
That's trust. They got 3 all-PIL offensive linemen that are back from last season, in Shankara Carson, Colden Carson, and Michael Kuhnel. And they're strong candidates to be all-PIL again, the way they're able to open up holes. 2 yards for Jones, and it's 2nd and 18. They dive it up the middle, bouncing off the pile. Actually, it's outright. They fooled me that time. I would have been lost on defense. It's a gain of about 3 yards on the carry to the outside.
Your quarterback has to be a magician, and I can tell you, Reed is.
Yes. So good with the football. Reed was able to keep it that time for a gain of 3 yards. He's only carried it twice for 4 yards. Bringing up a 3rd and 14 at the Lincoln 48-yard line. Very patient with the ball. A strong lead here. Looking to milk time off the clock, up 3 scores. Under center, handed off up the middle to Jones, and he's taken down after only a gain of 4.
Jones with the carry.
Jones had a massive game last week. Hudson Jones had 223 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns in the 54-32 win over Jefferson.
Well, I have him with 5 carries. If he's coming off 230, I'd be giving him the ball more, but
Right.
they have so many great backs.
Yeah.
They're just spreading the wealth around.
And 54 points 6 days ago on Friday for the Guardians, a season high. They haven't scored less than 30 points this season since the season opening loss to Hillsborough, 46-24.
You know, and Hillsboro's a 5A school.
Sitting at number 14 right now, Hillsborough is. Reed faked, he kept it, he's looking to throw on 4th and 10. He lobs it downfield, and it is incomplete. Had a man, the Lincoln defense couldn't see it, and Jackson Poole not able to catch it.
Now I see why they don't throw the ball very much.
A little bit off balance there, and Reed with the incompletion. So here's the door opening a crack for Lincoln with the ball at their own 44.
Does that make them 2 of 3 now on 4th downs?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that sounds right. Well, they converted 1 4th down. They got an offside penalty to convert another. So if you count that, 2 of 2, and then not able to convert
right.
that time on 4th and 10. So here's this Lincoln offense. Togney was able to find some room to run on that previous drive. He got a 23-yard burst.
Oliver Matthews checked in, and this time Barnett is wide to the right.
Eldridge, the quarterback, takes the snap, hands to Togney, trying to get around the edge. Togney's got room inside the 40, puts on the speed. Oh, Togney to the house. 56 yards, touchdown Lincoln.
3:19 the time on that. Is that the play I was telling you about?
Yes. What a burst. It looked like the defense had the angle. Suddenly, Togney was screaming by the defenders. That's the longest play of the season for Emmett Togney. And he brings this packed house on hand here at Lincoln High School to its feet, and the most noise that we've heard all game.
87 yards for Togney. 69 of it on 2 runs.
Right. And the extra point from Lance Ricker is good. The answer that Lincoln needed. They get the stop, a turnover on downs, and then Emmett Togney explodes to the end zone. And just like that, now it's 22-7.
56-yard drive, 1 play.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right, let's hear from Kelly Manning in State Farm. Kelly Manning is proud to be a sponsor of the Lincoln Cardinal football team. Let Kelly ensure your family's future by giving her a call today. Or you can email, text, or walk in anytime. Kelly Manning at State Farm. Chris Clayton and Dave Hall here with you at Oregon Sports Beat. And that's the big play that we were talking about the Cardinals needed.
I think, I'm just looking here, and I was comparing Andler and Togney. I think Togney's the leading rusher in the game now.
That'll do it. I'm with you. I have Andler at 78 yards.
Well, Togney's got 87.
Yep. We're both keeping stats, by the way. So we have 2 unofficial stats. I think if we combine our stats, that's basically official, right?
We have 2 unofficial. The official stats trump us, though.
Yes, that's fair. All right, 3:19 to go here in the first half. And it's kicked deep by Finn Davies. And this is Rasmussen on the return. Out across the 30, lowers the shoulder and tackled at the 32-yard line.
Good coverage by Lincoln that time.
Now this Lincoln defense now trots out onto the field. They've been on the field a lot in this first half. But maybe that momentum that's gone back their way a little bit can give them some extra life.
I'm still befuddled how 2 high school teams, can pass 3 times and a half. Total.
Yeah.
Combined.
Got 1 attempt by Wells and an incompletion. For Lincoln, it was a incompletion and an interception. It looked like Lincoln maybe was trying to throw a couple other times, but they were sacked pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Here's a handoff up the middle, and Wells going back to the well, if you will. They get 6 yards to the 38. It was Rasmussen on the carry. So Rasmussen on just 4 carries. He's at 76 yards rushing and a touchdown. $183 yards in this first half for Wells.
All on the ground.
Yep. 2:36 to go in the first half, and they go to Andler up the middle. Bounces off 1 tackler, gets the first down before he's thrown down to the turf at the 44-yard line. 6 more yards from Wyatt Andler. It was Oxford on the tackle.
That's an example of how to tackle a ball carrier, though, by Lincoln. Wrap your arms around the guy and fall down.
Yeah. Enzo Oxford, one of the team captains, the linebacker, is down and shaken up, and he's in some pain and frustrated as he slams his hands on the turf.
At the beginning of the season, when I talked to Coach Snoffer, he said, I'll give you a player to watch this year. Watch Enzo Oxford. And he's had some big plays during the course of the season. He's up.
Tough defensive player being helped off by a teammate and head coach Cody Schnoffer. Oxford has been such a defensive force for this team at linebacker. You know he's a tough linebacker when you've got a neck roll like that. If you see that neck roll, you got to watch out if you're a ball carrier.
Plays on the outside, wide receiver on offense. He looks like he's walking okay.
Hopefully he can be back quickly. First and 10 for Wells, their own 44-yard line. 2:19 and counting in the first half. Reed kept it. He's looking to throw. He's got a lot of pressure meandering around, and he's thrown down at the 37. It's Leonardo Coriani, the freshman star on this Cardinals defense.
Well, that time he rolled back, got away from an initial rush, and turned right into a defender who sacked him. Coriani, he's played well all season long, and a freshman.
What a player he's already is and is going to be for this Lincoln defense. Loss of 5 with a minute 40 to go. Handoff up the middle. It's a short gain on the handoff to Andler, but there's a flag down. So the officials stop the clock with 1:35. So it could be 3rd and 11 here, or something worse. A personal foul. Oh, tough break for Lincoln. A face mask against the Cardinals. That'll be a personal foul, automatic first down. And a 4th penalty on Lincoln.
Lincoln has been plagued by penalties all season long. Tonight they're doing a much better job, but unfortunate face mask right there.
Again, it could have been 3rd and 11 if they would have been able to avoid that penalty. The ball up to the 42. 1st and 10 for Wells. Got to play with a little bit of urgency, Wells does. 1:35 on the clock. Some movement on the line, and there's a penalty just like that on Wells this time. False start. It's their 3rd penalty for 30 yards so far.
1st and 15.
So back to a 1st and 15. 2 passing plays called by Wells, 1 incompletion and 1 sack. See if they go to the air here on this drive. They'll go to the ground again. They run it right side to Griffiths. Griffiths finds a little bit of room. 5-yard gain before he's wrestled down by Kelsey and Zan Galton, combining for the tackle for the Lincoln defense.
Cardinals don't want to give up any more points here in the first half. They need to dig in. We're at a minute.
Down to 55 seconds and counting. Not a lot of urgency by Wells. Here's a play action. Reed's looking to throw downfield. One-on-one coverage. Oh, it's caught to Jackson Poole at the goal line. Touchdown.
Yikes. 42 yards on the pass completion for the touchdown. What's their average passing per game?
42 yards.
That one was 42 yards.
That'll do it. They've reached their quota.
All right. Reed to Poole for the touchdown.
Poole with his first receiving touchdown of the year and the 4th passing touchdown of the season for Spencer Reed. Really nice throw just over the shoulder of Parker Barnett in coverage.
You know, after I made fun of the first pass, he laid that one right on the money.
Yeah, he heard you. He said, watch this. Well done by Reed the junior.
Personal foul. Counting against Wells.
And a
There's
personal
a
foul after the play.
Right, and that may have been a celebration call.
Right. So that'll be enforced on the kickoff.
28-7 Wells spending the try.
28-7. Wells able to get back some momentum with that big touchdown pass.
45 seconds, the time on that touchdown. 42 yards on the play from Reed to Poole. 28-7 our score.
When you think on that drive, well, Lincoln maybe had a stop, face mask, and then maybe they have a stop again. As time's starting to run out on Wells, and they get a big touchdown pass. So 2 opportunities, not able to take advantage defensively.
I regret saying you need to dig in and stop a score.
Jinxed it. And you think back to earlier in the first half, there were 2 other 4th downs that Wells converted. You look at the score and it's 28-7, but there's just a few plays in this game that have completely shifted the tide.
Exactly.
Movement along the line, and it's a flag fest suddenly the last minute or so. False start against Wells.
Well, they assessed that penalty.
Yeah, I thought maybe they were going to put it on the kickoff.
On the extra point.
Yeah. So now they got to try to get 2 points from the 23-yard line.
And they're still not going to kick it.
You think most of the playbook for Wells is probably play action passes.
4 touchdowns, 2 points after touchdown. That's how we get to 28.
An obvious passing situation, and they'll go to the ground. Trying for Scott on an end around, wrestled down Conrad Kelsey. Nice tackle, the senior, to stop the 2.
You know, we were talking about Wells running out of the power T formation. That time, that looked to me like the wishbone formation, like Oklahoma used to run. Fullback is up a step on the 2 backs.
It's cool to see this style of offense. It's something that is unique. It's almost like when the spread offense first came out, it was, oh, this team's running the spread, that's unique. Now, teams that run the power T is the unique team that's hard to prepare for.
You're a high school team and you want to run the power T. You got to have the players. You got to have some big linemen, some big backs, and you have to have a very gifted quarterback. I see all 3.
Head coach Keith Bennett, he said part of the reason for their success is he had the youth program for Wells start running the wing T. He said that's really helped because the players, the freshmen, the sophomores, those guys that come in, they've almost mastered it by the time they get to the high school level.
And I've heard many coaches over the years say that the key to our success is that our youth programs run our exact same offense and defense. They get here and they're ready.
Wells graduated 5 All-PIL players and Parker Feld-Gore from last year, who was their star quarterback and linebacker. And they're still, I mean, they're even better this year, taking a step forward despite losing all that talent. It's part of what you see from great programs, just reloading year after year. Parker Burnett retrieves this kick over his head, looking for a crease. He's dangerous with the ball, trying to get around the edge. Barnett juking. Defender's got a piece of his foot, and he's tackled at the 26.
Barnett wanted that ball to roll in the end zone, and it stopped at the 1. He had to pick it up.
Beautiful by Griffin Scott, angling that down to the 1. So the clock's at 37 seconds. Let's see how aggressive Lincoln is. It will be Cardinals football to start the 3rd quarter.
Could use about a 74-yard run right here by Togney.
Where's that in the playbook? He already had a 56-yarder last time he touched the football. It's a miscommunication for the offense. It was Cameron Rank who was trying to sprint off the field at the last second, but Cody Schnoffer just elects to take a timeout.
He was standing right there next to the referee, and he said timeout.
Yeah, just let's talk things over here.
Save the penalty.
So you mentioned Lincoln coming into this game on the cusp right now, number 31 in the OSAA rankings. A playoff appearance would be really noteworthy for the Cardinals this year. Cody Schnoffer in his first year, the Cardinals haven't made the playoffs since 2018. So if you're trying to build a winning program, a great step would be sneaking into the playoffs.
Here are the current OSAA rankings for the PIL teams. Roosevelt 12, Wells 17, Grant 20, Franklin 26, Lincoln 31, Cleveland 33, Jefferson 38, and McDaniel 40.
So there's plenty of opportunities for Lincoln to get some numbers boosts if they can string together wins. The Cardinals will be hosting Grant next weekend and then finish off the season with Cleveland.
All at home.
Yep, Eldridge throws middle. Oh, it's intercepted to Griffin Scott, and he will go the distance. 27-yard pick 6, and it's 34-7 Wells. Second interception of the game for this Guardians defense.
27 yards on the interception. That was Scott, did you say?
Yeah. His 3rd pick of the year, the senior, a playmaker for this Guardians defense.
False start, Lincoln.
It's Wells' defense making it happen defensively. Again, they came in, the opponent scoring 29 a game against their defense. You're thinking, okay, maybe that's a weak point, but they force now 9 turnovers on the season with 5 picks and 4 fumbles.
If you're wondering about the rule on points, you have to have a 35-point advantage for the continuous clock. So we're not there yet.
27-point edge for Wells at the moment. They go right side. No, they actually went middle, excuse me, and it worked. They get the 2. They go right up the gut. Another flag comes flying in. I think it was Andler on that. Yep, White Andler able to take it in for 2. 36-7 our score. Late second with 29 seconds to go. And personal foul probably after the play against somebody being forced on the kickoff.
So if that's the case, let's see, most likely it'll be on Wells. Point after touchdown is good.
Personal foul, and it's against Wells.
Yep.
So that's the combined 9th penalty of the game, 5 on Wells. That's 50 penalty yards on the Guardians. So it's something head coach Keith Bennett, I'm sure, will be talking with his team about at halftime. Don't forget, exciting opportunity at halftime. We have a special coach that Dave you'll be talking to.
Well, we're hoping on
Hopefully,
that. I haven't seen her. Whoops, I haven't seen the coach yet.
Seen the coach, yep.
I might have gave that one away that time.
So the personal foul moves the ball back to the 25-yard line. So this one returnable for the electric Parker Barnett and Emmett Togney.
Barnett has been the one that's been most successful on kickoff returns this year. He had a couple against McDaniel that were outstanding. The lead is 29, 36-7, 29 seconds left to go in the half.
Scott goes along the ground, bounces off the leg of a Lincoln player, and it's immediately recovered at the 38-yard line.
Great field position.
Yeah, 27 seconds, still a little bit of time to work for the Lincoln offense. They tried to be aggressive at the end of the previous drive and threw a pick 6. Let's see what they do here.
20 points here in the second quarter for Wells, 7 for the Cardinal. It was 16-0 at the end of 1, so 36-7.
So no completions yet today
For Eldridge?
for Eldridge.
He's thrown 2 picks.
Yep. Once on a screen pass and one downfield to Scott. They will throw again. Eldridge looking left, and he throws complete. That's to Kelsey. Kelsey getting inside the 30, still fighting. He's got a first down. And I think they're going to call a timeout. No, they will stop the clock for a moment to move the chains.
And where was that pass? It was a slant
Yep,
pattern right in the middle of the field.
A slant route that's been working well for Lincoln this season. Conrad Kelsey with his second catch of the year for 10 yards. Ball to the 28. They actually mark him short. It's 2nd and inches. Eldridge looking to throw. He's got pressure, rolling right side, still looking downfield. He'll throw to the sideline, incomplete. A safe throw, trying to get it to Errol Brotherton. It'll be 3rd down and inches. 5 seconds.
He was playing it safe that time because when he let the ball go, Brotherton was already out of bounds. 5 seconds. This will be the last play of the first half.
Well, this would be a 45-yard field goal for Lance Ricker. His long of the year is 28 yards, which he made last week. So
he has the leg for this.
All right. Doesn't look like they're going to kick the field goal. Trying for the end zone here from the
Well, the ball
29.
is at 30. It'll be spotted down at 37.
Oh, there's a penalty. We missed it. There was a penalty. Penalty against Wells marches the ball down to the 15-yard line, just inside of it.
First down.
Well, there's only 5 seconds. Got to get in the end zone right here or really hurry. Plays blown dead.
Whistle and a flag.
A flag-filled first half continues.
All right, take a breath.
I think the officials hadn't given them permission to snap it yet, and they
hadn't
jumped
marked
the gun.
The ball yet.
So they reset the scoreboard to 5 seconds, and here we go. Probably the final play of the half. Snap it to Eldridge. Liam Eldridge, the junior, looking to the end zone, throws. Oh, just over the hands of Garrett Schmokel. Incomplete. There is 1 second.
Incomplete.
One more opportunity for Lincoln.
I like that a lot. I like Smoko. He's a big kid, big receiver. Got it up high. He was the only one who could catch that. Just got it up inches too high.
And here comes Lance Ricker, the kicker. They'll try what will be a season long.
See where they spot this. Going to spot it at the 22. It'll be a 32-yarder.
Yep. Looks just inside the 22. Ricker, the lefty kicker, trying to get Lincoln up to 10 points today in his first half. And the kick from him is no good. Pushed it to the right, and it's 36-7 at the half. So they try to take advantage of great field position and not able to get into the end zone or through the uprights. Wells doing what they needed to do, executing, taking care of business, and taking advantage of so many opportunities throughout that first half.
Let me recap the scoring for you in this game. First, in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns by Wells. The first was a 27-yard pass, a run by Andlar. The point after touchdown, a run by Reed made it 8-0. That was at the 7:51 mark. At the 1:34 mark, an 8-yard run by Litwin, and a point after touchdown run for Scott made it 16-0. In the second quarter, Wells on the board early, a 10-yard run by Andler. At the 10:31 mark, the point after touchdown failed. It was 22-0. Then Emmett Togney with a 56-yard run at 5:19. 5:19. A point after touchdown by Ricker made it 22-7. Then a couple of touchdowns, a 42-yard pass from Reed to I'm trying to remember here now. Poole, and that was at the 45-second mark. That made it 28-7. Then that interception, Scott, a pick six, a point after touchdown, the run by Andler at the 29-second mark, and that made it 36-7. And then the missed field goal at 0-1. So in the stretch there of 16 seconds, there were 2 scores by Wells.
Wells, the 193 rush yards and 42 pass yards for a total of 235 first half yards for the Guardians. Ultimately, it's 86 total first half yards for Lincoln, 76 on the ground and 10 through the air. So that's the first half stats for these two teams as Lincoln tries to make some adjustments and cut into this deficit. There's a lot to like for Lincoln. They had that big run from Togney, but it's just been so difficult to stop the run and the execution of Wells.
Let me give you the passing stats. For Wells, Reed is 1 of 2 passing for 42 yards and a touchdown. By the way, as Chris pointed out, that's their season passing average in yardage. On the other hand, Lincoln, Eldridge is 1 of 5 for 10 yards, but more importantly, 2 interceptions, one of them a pick six.
Well, our special guest is here. So,
right.
Dave, we'll give you the opportunity to talk through this hyped up special guest that we've been talking to.
Coach, come on over and sit down.
Talking about all first half.
We'll get a headset on here and we'll sit down, and we're joined by the head coach of the Lincoln basketball team, Heather Seeley Roberts. Coach, thanks for joining us. Get your headset on there.
Hello, yes, thank you very much.
This isn't the first time we've interviewed you.
No.
So how are things going?
Basketball-wise or for the game right now?
Let's talk about the game first. Get your observations about the game.
Well, I've been taking tickets, and it seemed like there was a lot of fired-up Wells students that came in here, and now I'm seeing with good reason. So, anyways, so it looks like the score's not going so great right now, but I have faith in our Cardinals that we're going to come back.
Well, it's going to be a long way back, but
yeah, I think so too.
You're familiar with a number of players on the team, or not?
I am.
Who are some of the players you're familiar with?
So I'm actually, so I teach freshman PE, so I actually have 2 freshmen, I think. One of them starts, Leo. And,
we've talked all season long about Leo.
Yeah,
and
he's a big little boy.
And
so,
he has probably been my pick for best defensive player of the year.
Oh, nice.
And he's
nice.
a freshman.
Yes, yeah, he's fun to have in PE class, really nice kid, works hard, and so he's been fun to have. And then I have Grayson Murph in class too. And then I had Jackson Barber, that's probably on the, I think Jackson Barber's on the line. And so he was in my class last year, and Zan Galton. And then I've had a number of these juniors as well. So, yeah, but Leo actually is bigger than any other kid that I've had in the class. So they had, but what I do like about it, about the boys, it seems like there's a lot of enthusiasm, and it seems like there's a lot of numbers coming out. And so I feel like, you know, the coach has got it going in the right direction.
Lincoln actually has 60 players suited
nice.
up. 25 of them are freshmen.
Yes, yes.
So that's a huge class, and they are, a lot of them are really contributing to the season.
Yeah, and I think, and that's really where it's going to go. You know, you're going to start from somewhere, and so you're going to take your bumps now, but then it's going to pay off in a couple of years.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about basketball.
Yay.
Before we do, I want to ask you about your sons. How are they doing, and where are they at?
So Malachi, both of them are serving missions for our church, Church Christ of Latter-day Saints. Malachi is in Washington, D.C. right now, so right
Wow,
down by
fun.
Arlington. Yeah, so he's right in the middle there. And so real busy in the big city, really enjoying it. And then Moroni is in Scotland, in rural Scotland. So he
Wow.
covers 1/6 of Scotland with him and his companions. So
Now, you had some other seniors on last year's
correct.
team.
So Graham is at a prep school in Rhode Island, and so still playing basketball. Graham Eikenberry. Jahala Van is playing basketball at PCC, so he may redshirt, may play this year. Carson Wacker is here, actually. He was the quarterback last year, so he's here watching, so I gave him a big hug on the way in. And he is playing at Lewis and Clark.
Oh, good.
Yep. And then my other 4 are going to college and playing intramural basketball.
Your point guard, Jimmy
Jimmy McCartan.
McCartan,
Yeah.
what about him?
So he was going to he went to Carroll College for a week and then didn't like it, so now he's down at the, worst school ever, the Ducks. So he's down there. And then he's also down there with Quinn Owens down there. And then Blake Johnson and Noah Santa Maria are both in California.
That comment coming from somebody who's an Oregon State
Oh,
fan.
yes, big Oregon State fan. Yes, Pac-2, go baby. We got the Pac-2 going on.
Let's talk about this upcoming season.
Yeah.
How's it going? You haven't started practicing yet,
Well,
have
we
you?
actually started fall workouts about 3 weeks ago, and I'm really enjoying working with these kids. It's a new challenge now. We lost 9 seniors, obviously, a ton of leadership. We have a lot of leadership to go, but I've got some good pieces. So we're obviously led by Evan Heisler, 6'10".
Great
Yeah.
post player.
Great post player, and he's really been coming along, and so he should be averaging a double-double. And then along with him, as I have probably our best athlete in the program named Tanner Overby, and so he played JV last year. He didn't play his first 2 years because he was into golf, and now he's coming out, and Evan and him make a really good 1-2 combination. And then I've got a 3-year varsity player with Isaac Margolis as my point guard. So I've got my point guard and 2 posts in place, and now I'm just trying to, I've got a number of kids that are trying out for the wing position, so we're trying to find those kids that will fit around there.
How many kids turned out for tryouts?
So our workouts, and we go at 6:30 a.m., and I spend the first 30 minutes just conditioning, and before we even touch a ball.
Are you still driving in from Newburgh?
I drive in, but I will tell you, when you're driving at 5:30 a.m., the traffic is less. So the boys can't complain because I have to get up earlier than them. So we have 30 plus showing up. That's just older kids. The freshmen go at a different time. And today I had my basketball meeting, so we had 60 plus kids at the meeting. It's going to
Wow.
be tough to make a team this year. So
Wow.
yeah, we got a lot of kids coming out, and a lot of freshmen, kind of like you're saying, a lot of freshmen coming out. But it's good, But boys basketball, we always get a lot of kids. It was funny though. My freshman coach is Tyler Shea, who's the defensive coordinator, and he said, when we have a football meeting in here, there's enough room for the coaches to sit down, but there's not enough room in this meeting for any coaches to sit down. We had a lot of kids.
I have to say, you have some of the best facilities I've seen in the entire state.
Right
the
here?
gym is beautiful.
Oh, it's so nice.
Oh, the football field's beautiful too.
Yes, and this has been a game changer for PE too. We can actually come outside and run our mile on the track instead of running 13 times around the gym. So, yeah, we like it.
Tell me a little bit about your upcoming season. What do you got in store?
So we've got, I think, a pretty good schedule. We're going on the road and playing Grants Pass in South Medford. We're playing in the Mountainside tournament, playing Jesuit, and then we're going to Arizona. And we're going to be playing 4 games in Arizona. So we had thought about it last year, but then we got invited to the LSI. We did not get invited to the LSI this year, but that's okay. You know, we'll go down and chase some sun and have a good time there, and I think it'll be a good bonding experience for the kids.
You know, a lot of teams use the first preseason non-league things to kind of get some wins or whatever. I think it's an advantage to play tough teams.
Well, and especially with the ranking systems, you have to.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, so we went after some pretty good teams. They're not quite as like, I would say they're all top 10 teams, but not like 1, 2. Like last year, we went for top probably 3 or 4 teams, and so, but just trying to build that up. And I'm thinking we're going to be pretty good in the league. I've actually been very pleasantly surprised with the progress we've made, the commitment kids have made, and so I think it's going to be good.
Who do you look for to be really good in the PIL this year?
Roosevelt's a big one. So Terrence.
Do they still have that kid that's?
He came. Well, he went to Arizona,
right.
Terrence, and then he came back. I actually saw him at the Roosevelt game here a couple weeks ago. So he's come back, and then they've got their other 2, Chance and. Spacing on the other kids' names. So anyways, they've got those kids. So they've got actually 3 really, really good guards. So they're kind of preseason pick, but I'm not going to give it to anybody.
Last year was a big year for the PIL. They had a bunch of teams in the top 15. You guys, I think you guys got as high as 3.
Yeah. Did we get 2? Yeah, but we ended up 3rd. We were the only team though that make it to the tournament. Yeah. And then, but yeah, it was a good year from the PIL. Like I said, Roosevelt should be good. I think there's some teams that'll be better, but yeah, they're probably the number 1 gunner. For
people who are not familiar, your coaching background, I know it's pretty varied and it's pretty interesting.
Yes, well, I think so. But I coached girls for 25 years, and I've been at 8 different high schools, and I spent 4 years.
You coached back east, too.
I did. I spent 4 years coaching college back east, and then I decided I want to get into boys. So I went to Yamhill Carleton, which no one here in Lincoln has heard of Yamhill. But
won a state championship there.
I did. Won a state championship in 2021 that got recruited to come over here and play here at Lincoln. And a lot of people thought I'd quit after my twins left last year, but we decided to go another year. Because I miss my boys, so I need something to do, though.
I watched you on the sideline. I don't think there's any chance you were going to quit.
Yeah, they have.
I think you like this too much.
I do. I do like it, but they're in charge of, actually, Graham's brother. He's 6'6" too, so he's in charge of giving me big boy hugs when I see him in the hall. Because I can't hug my boys anymore. So
is he a player?
No. He's a big cheerer. He comes and cheers our games. And then Evan does a good job of giving me hugs when I need a tall boy hug.
What's your opening game?
We're going down to Grants Pass. So we're going to play, because if we go on the road, you get more points. So we're going to play Grants Pass in South Medford.
And what's the date on that?
December 1st and 2nd, first opening weekend.
And your first league game is probably the first week in January?
No, we for some reason, we always play Cleveland early.
Oh.
Yeah, like we have that one league game early. So
Cleveland's
our
been
big
very
nemesis,
good.
I know our big nemesis, Cleveland. In fact, I was telling my whole PE class today why I don't like Cleveland so much. So, but also starting with their colors.
I don't want to get on your bad side.
No, you don't want to get my bad. My kids heard all kinds of stories today.
All right.
I'm probably getting Cleveland fired up right now, but that's okay.
All right. Well, thanks for coming and joining us and updating us on everything. We'll be around to see you during basketball season.
We're excited to have you.
Stop by anytime you want.
Sounds good. Okay, go Cards.
All right. That's Coach Heather Seeley Roberts of the Lincoln High School boys basketball team, the coach. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a couple of minutes and get started with the second half here at Lincoln High School.
36-7 after 24 minutes of action. It's all Wells here on Oregon Sports Beat up over Lincoln. Chris Clayton and Dave Hall here with you, and it's a great start for Wells. They haven't really looked back. They were able to march it down the field on their initial drive of the game, build an 8-0 lead. Then they got an interception, built a 16-0 lead. And ever since that start to the game, it feels like Lincoln's been trying to play catch-up and haven't been able to do so yet.
Here's a couple of interesting stats. We've already talked about one. Wells averaging 42 yards passing a game. They have 42 right now, all on one play, a touchdown. The other is they're averaging 38 points a game. They got 36 right now.
Yeah, 193 first-half rushing yards for Wells. They're on pace to surpass their season average of 357 rush yards a game. So a lot of numbers being thrown your way. The point is Wells is moving the ball right now up and down the field. Really the big highlight for Lincoln was that 56-yard rushing touchdown by Emmett Togney, showing off his electricity with the ball in his hands. But outside of that, they haven't been able to move the ball very well.
The other thing that about Wells is they've been very successful on fourth down.
Yeah, they're 2 of 3 so far in this game, but 2 of them were crucial. They had an offsides penalty on Lincoln. They were able to move it. And then another was a 27-yard touchdown. So those are those moments in a game where if you can get a stop there, that can shift the tide and build momentum. But Wells has taken advantage of those, and a big part of the reason they have this lead is those opportunistic conversions.
I want to thank Coach Heather Seeley-Roberts for joining us at halftime. It's always a great interview, and looking forward to the upcoming season for the Lincoln Cardinal. They had a great year last year, finishing third, and but they lost 9 seniors. They've got some players back. Evan Heisler is a player you want to watch.
Before you know it, it'll be basketball season. Their opening game coming up in about a month and a half, December 1st and 2nd. And we are just about ready to get the second half going. Lincoln will have the football to start off this third quarter. And kickoffs today have been, especially in that first quarter, a little bit of a struggle for Wells. See how they handle this one. Or they kick it deep, go with that squib. Scott will kick it to the 17. Parker Barnett takes it for Lincoln. Out across the 30, looking for a crease, cuts to his left, still on his feet. He's past the 40, still going. What a return. Parker Barnett to the 46-yard line.
30 yards on the kickoff return for Parker Barnett, and he kind of just stepped and sidestepped his way to those 30 yards.
Patient return. Found the crease, and they spot the ball at the 45-yard line. 10 passing yards in the first half for Lincoln.
The only completion was to Conrad Kelsey for 10.
70 rush yards on the ground. 4 receivers bunch to the left. Liam Eldridge, the quarterback, takes the snap, throws middle, and it's complete. Gain of about 9 yards off the bobble. It's into the grasp of Elwood Gordon, who makes his second reception of the season, the junior.
70 yards, you said, rushing. You know, Togney has 87. That tells you what the rest of the team has. And of Togney's 87, one of them was 23 and one of them was 56. Here's the 4 receivers on the right this time.
They had him on the left last play. Coming out throwing on 2nd and 1 is completion to Kelsey again. Kelsey looking to break a tackle. He does. Sidesteps. Oh, he fumbled at the 38. Loose on the turf. Wells has it. Just like that, the Guardians force another turnover. The 3rd of the game.
16 yards on the completion and then the turnover. That's the first fumble loss by either team.
Tough break. Liam Eldridge coming out firing with 3 completions.
We were talking about those quad receivers before, and Lincoln has done that a couple of times, and they pretty much consistently stacked 4 receivers on one side and then threw to the other side, which is exactly what they did that time.
And it did work, but it was just the fumble at the end of the play. As Wells defense get the ball back up 36-7, just a minute into this third quarter, at their own 38-yard line. Man comes in motion. That's Griffith sprinting across. They go to Rasmussen, and he's got nowhere to go, only a yard for Gus Rasmussen. 5 carries, 77 yards, though, for Rasmussen after he took one 55 yards earlier on in this game, the first half.
Lincoln now with 3 turnovers in the game, a lost fumble and 2 interceptions, one of them a pick 6.
The Guardians looking for their 6th win of the year, which would be their most wins in a season since 2013 when they were Woodrow Wilson High School.
The Trojans.
2nd and 9. Now the Guardians with a run up the middle, and they get a solid gain of about 5 yards to Wyatt Andler. And Andler, big game continues. He's now up to 5 carries for 89 yards.
Well, he's got more than 5 carries.
Excuse me, 11 carries.
Yep.
11 carries for 89 yards.
Yep, 11 carries.
3rd and 4 now for the Guardians. Wells right now sitting at 17 in the OSAA poll. Haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. Would be a tough seed to do so. They go to Andler again for 2 yards on 3rd and 4.
Well, they may be number 7 in the polls, or 17, but they're not number 17 in my poll.
No,
I've got them. They look top 10 to me.
I agree. It's a tough team. The math is not in their favor.
You know, it may be the loss to a 5A team to start the season, to Hillsboro. That may be what's kind of dragged them down, but they look as good as any 6A team I've seen so far this year.
Well, a chance to build their numbers and get a huge win as they'll be playing at Roosevelt next week.
That'll be a great game.
And they finish the year with Franklin.
And the Cardinal get Grant next week. That'll be another great game.
Here's 4th and 2. Reed kept it, trying to get around the right side, and he stopped. Wells been so good on 4th down today. The second time they've been stopped, though. The Lincoln defense steps up and gets the ball back across midfield.
Lincoln gets the ball in Wells territory at the 47-yard line. Great stop. 2:04 now on 4th down conversions for Wells.
36-7, Wells ahead, but Lincoln still with 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter with the ball. Able to find a little success through the air on 2 completions last drive before the fumble. They go to Togney, getting around the edge. This is the touchdown play in the first half. Togney with another nice gain inside the 30. An 18-yard gain for Emmett Togney. That'll put him up over 100 yards rushing in this game on 8 carries.
Exactly 105. And you can see when they can get him to the outside, when they get a block by the end on the right side, and Togney gets out to the right, he's had big pickups. He's had gains now of 18, 23, and 56.
Another massive game for Togney. The only touchdown today. They go right back to him, cuts it up the middle, and he stumbles to the 25-yard line. 4 more for Togney.
Number 44 with the stop.
Togney is so great at changing directions.
Yeah.
Both the jump cut and the little cut that he makes off of that forward movement. It's hard to get hands on him.
It's a player shaken up. That's Cameron Rank for Lincoln, limping off. Factor on offensively a tight end and on defense as well at linebacker. Hopefully he is okay. Being stretched out on the sideline, hopefully just cramps. Here's the 2nd and 6. Handed off up the middle, a fullback dive to Oxford. And Oxford's got a short little gain to the 21-yard line, 4 yards.
Enzo's first carry of the night.
With the stop.
So a 3rd and 1 now on the way for Lincoln. Got to get just inside the 20. Ball towards the right hash. They're right back in that offset eye. They do go to Togney. Defenders on him in the backfield, but he fights forward and nearly got the first down. I think he's about a foot short, but an incredible effort by Togney.
3rd and short.
About a foot short, you're right. Cards are going to go for it. Got nothing to lose.
Now, if you're going to make any headway in cutting away at this deficit, you need some points this drive. Cody Schnaufer, the first-year head coach, knows it. Keeps the offense out there. They sneak it up the middle, get the first down with ease. Liam Eldridge lowers the shoulder, and he's got a 5-yard gain on the quarterback sneak. That'll work.
You know, I'm a fan of lining the quarterback up, snap it to him right over center, and just finding the hole between the guard and the center. Lots of teams try to hand the ball off or something, and you're sending the ball backwards when you only need a foot.
Right. Don't get cute. Lincoln did not there. Simple power run up the middle. Now 1st and 10 up to the 15-yard line. They go to Togney up the gut. Such a powerful burst. The acceleration to get 5 yards on the carry.
117 yards now for Togny.
They got one receiver out to the right side. That's Errol Brotherton. They go to the ground again. This is Togny slipping through the pile. He's inside the 5, driving the legs. 5 more yards and a first and goal now for Lincoln.
You know, without passing, time is flying. We've used up almost 7 minutes of the third quarter.
This drive started for Lincoln across midfield at
the 46.
Wells 46, and it's taken about 4 minutes off the clock already. Their main focus here, getting to the end zone. Some movement on the defensive line, no penalty. It's Togny left side. He lowers the shoulder near the goal line, and he's stopped just about a yard short.
If you look, Lincoln now is running double tight end, and they're using a fullback, and they're getting blocking at the point of attack for Togny on these short carries. Finds a hole, and he gets 4 or 5 yards each time.
They had that big play in the first half, but they didn't have a lot of sustained success like they have on this drive, 4 or 5 yards a pop.
This drive is different.
Eldridge sneaks in, touchdown Lincoln. The quarterback sneak working well that drive. They converted that 4th and short, kept the foot on the gas, and in the end zone for the second time this game.
The time on that, 4:38.
Eldridge with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, 8th total on the year for the junior quarterback. We'll go for 2 here. Trying to make it a 21-point game instead of 23. See if they can convert the 2. They go back to the sneak, and it didn't work that time. No good on the 2, and it will stay at 36-13. One of our sponsors, Evolution Salon. Evolution Hair Design, Portland's best-kept secret, celebrating 30 years of making Portland beautiful. Located across the street from the home of the Cardinals. Are you ready to evolve your style? Evolution Hair Design is now accepting new clients.
We're looking right at them.
Yeah, just across the street.
My car's parked right in front of them.
They aren't kidding. It's right there on the corner from the beautiful new facility here. First time Lincoln's been able to play true home games on campus since 2019.
And to finish the season up with 4 straight home games,
yeah,
that's big.
It is. Well, we were talking when Wells had the ball, maybe, hey, they get a touchdown and it'll be running clock territory, but Lincoln gets the stop, gets into the end zone, and just like that, it's a 3-possession game. 4:38 left to go in the third. Lincoln trying to chip away and make things interesting. What's been a game in which they've committed 3 turnovers.
They stopped Wells on a 4th down play last time. Need another one of those in a score, and then let's talk.
They'll have Davies kick it deep. Davies lofts it high in the air, but there's a flag down. This is blown dead.
Finn Davies is the 3rd string quarterback.
3rd string QB / kickoff man, the sophomore.
Offside, Lincoln.
And an offside against the Cardinals.
This is the 2nd offside we've had on a kickoff tonight. 1 on each team.
Yeah, kickoffs have been very eventful compared to what you normally see in a game. Illegal procedures, ball going out of bounds, some offsides, a personal foul. Still earlier in the game, Wells recovered an onside kick. I'm still not sure why Lincoln got the ball that drive, but Cardinals fans are saying, who cares?
Maybe we'll ask Coach next time we talk to him.
Yeah, it's just been a kind of an odd game here today in terms of the kickoffs. Davies will try again. Along the turf this time. Into the grasp of Rasmussen at the 20. Looking for a crease. He's out across the 30 and dragged down at the 34-yard line.
Curtis with the stop.
It was Curtis on the tackle. So again, Wells got to near midfield before they stalled out last drive. They'll have to wait to start this drive as there's a Lincoln player down and shaken up.
Official timeout.
They'll be stretched out at the 35-yard line. So Wells' offense has balanced out the running attack so much. We have a mascot fight here, a boxing match on the track.
The Lincoln mascot and the Wells mascot are they playing around, or is that real?
It's getting serious. They'd have an administrator step in and say, hey, calm that down.
I actually think that might have been real.
It got real over the course of it. There were some real blows being thrown by the Cardinal there. The Guardian, if we're saying that's a real fight, I think the Cardinal won that. I'll say it.
I do too, but the Guardian is saying, got his hands up like, there's no knockdown, no knockout.
No. Guardian was kind of trying to keep its head on.
I'd be interested. I'm leaning towards thinking that was real because one of the camera people just came over and talked to both of them. Hey, guys.
I'm guessing that's someone who works for this school or school district, as he's chastising everybody involved in that skirmish. It's one thing to have a fight, but if there's mascots involved, it does become kind of funny. If it had been just a couple students fighting, I don't think it'd be as funny as a mascot fight.
I think they have been asked to leave.
Oh, wow. The mascots have been ejected. Just when this game couldn't get any weirder.
Oh, my goodness. 42 years of broadcasting, that's a first. The mascots were ejected.
There's a handoff up the middle. Another nice gain of 8 yards for Wells. They went to Rasmussen on the carry.
I'm impressed with him. He's been a workhorse. He actually had a 54-yard run earlier.
Yeah. 6 carries, 85 yards for Rasmussen today.
Yes, indeed. We have no more mascots.
Yeah, the mascots are all gone. So, ejection for both of the mascots for these programs. The Cardinal and the Guardian are gone from the rest of this game. Maybe more. We'll see what happens. There's a handoff to Andler up the middle. He's got about 5 yards.
I don't know if you remember, but before the game, we were talking with one of the Wells coaches, and he had on a T-shirt, and on the shirt it said "Battle of the Birds," and it was Lincoln and
there it is,
and Wells, and I think we just saw it.
They took it too seriously. They got motivated. I'll show you a battle.
Right.
Remember, probably 10 years ago now, the Oregon Duck got in a fight with the Houston Cougars mascot.
I remember
and
that well.
The Duck got suspended. That's the only other mascot fight I can think of. First and 10 for Wells, and there's another offsides against the Cardinals.
In the old days, before the new hockey rules, about line brawls, when everybody on every team was out on the court fighting, I've seen the coaches fighting, the mascots fighting. I've seen that in hockey.
In hockey.
Nowadays, you don't see it because they have those rules. Fight breaks out, and you don't get off the ice. You're suspended a game. So,
thankfully, nobody else got involved here. It was just strictly the mascots.
Well, the only other people there were the cheerleaders. I didn't think that was going to come to that.
No.
But they were trading blows.
They were. Somebody stepped in.
I don't know if our cameraman got that or not. I don't know if Ryan got that up above us, but that'd be a good one to watch.
Right side, nowhere to go for Litwin. He lost the yard. Of all the replays I want to watch in this game, that's definitely the one right there, the mascot fight.
We got a great game going, and it's an important game for both these teams. And Chris wants to watch the mascot fight.
That's right. Play it back. So up over 200 yards rushing for Wells in this game. That's been the story so far. Just 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Lincoln is back within 3 possessions, though. They can get a stop here, get the ball back. They've shown the ability to throw and get Togby going running in this half, too. Here's the 2nd and 6. Handoff. They went up the middle to Andler, and he only got a yard. So a big third down on the way now.
With the tackle. Third down.
The Guardians tied for first in the PIL with their 4-0 record. Looking forward to a big matchup with Roosevelt next week if they can hang on to this 3-possession lead.
You know, Grant at 3-1 is still in this race too.
Yeah.
And the Cardinal have them next Friday night.
On third down, they go to Rasmussen. He's got enough room for a first down. Big third down conversion. It's a 7-yard gain for Rasmussen.
Oxford with the tackle.
He must be close to 100 yards now.
First and 10.
I got him at 92
Okay.
on 7 carries. So he's right on the brink. As Wells moves the ball to the Lincoln 41-yard line. Down to 1:12 remaining in the third quarter. And just an update, the Lincoln mascot has not, well, if they were ejected, they're back now. So the Lincoln mascot's back out here. Unless they maybe changed who's in the suit, I don't know. They go to Scott on an end around right side. Griffin Scott had that big interception for a touchdown in the first half. He
The
gained 6
Cardinal
yards.
is strutting his stuff.
No regrets for the Lincoln Cardinal.
My goodness.
8 different Wells players have handoffs, have taken carries in this game.
Yep, I've got 8.
And they just so much balance. It's what they've been doing all year. They keep you on your toes defensively.
For the Cardinal, it had been Emmett Togney, and that's about it.
A 2nd and 4. Last time it was Scott. This time it's Rasmussen. And he stays low to the ground and gets 5 more yards for a first down.
Now he's closing in on 100. That's, I think, 97.
Yep. Nobody has 100 yet individually for Wells. They got Andler at 97 and Rasmussen at 97. So that just gives you an idea of the type of balance they have for this team that now has over 250 yards rushing on the game. First and 10 for Wells at the Lincoln 30 with 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Up the middle to Andler, slips through one tackle, driving the legs in a pile of bodies, and 7 yards for Andler.
Now he's over 100 at 104.
Just did it on 15 carries. Pretty efficient with a couple touchdowns. And the seconds tick off the clock in the third quarter. We head to the fourth, a 23-point lead for Wells. Guardians.
Think of it, only one score in that quarter, and it was by Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln able to get some headway defensively and take it in for a touchdown as they got in on the quarterback sneak from Liam Eldridge. Our broadcast from Oregon Sports Beat is also brought to you by Selco. Selco is founded by educators. In 1936, Selco Community Credit Union is committed to serving our community and being a trusted financial advocate. Whatever a good life means to you, they want to help you get there. Stop by their Forest Park branch on Northwest Thurman to learn more about Selco. Chris Clayton and Dave Hall here with you on Oregon Sports Beat, which is also brought to you by Bio Lounge. Bio Lounge is a Northwest Portland functional medicine clinic. Partners with patients to support their unique health goals. Whether aiming to treat a condition, prevent chronic disease, or optimize health, our highly trained providers leverage the latest in scientific research and technology to provide exceptional care and outcomes. We believe health is a lifelong journey and are proud to support the Lincoln football program, Bio Lounge. Just about set to get the fourth quarter going as Wells with a chance to not only put more points on the board, but milk some more time off the clock. They are one of those teams where once they get a lead, they're so good at maintaining that lead because they can milk the clock as well as anybody in the state. They mastered this power T offense. Try to go up the middle, really nowhere to go. Enzo Oxford with pretty much the single-handed stop
Lucas
there.
with the carry.
1 yard
Oxford
gain
with the stop.
for Rasmussen.
Third down.
Now to be 3rd and 2. This is where the Guardians have been lethal today, converting these short yardage situations. But the last 2 4th downs, Lincoln has come up with stops. See if the Cardinals can get them there. Spencer Reed, junior quarterback. 1 completion today, a 42-yard touchdown. Outside of that, executing the offense well. He gives it around the edge. This is Jackson Poole on the carry, and he's got the first down. 5 yards for Poole.
With the tackle.
That's only Poole's second carry of the night, 2 carries, 9 yards.
That's just a perfect example of, what looks like a simple offense in a way. It's just running the ball, but they just keep you on your toes. They balance it out. They say, hey, let's go to Poole. Let's change it up a little bit. And it just the wrinkle they needed to get the first down.
The formations all look the same. There's not any motion. It's who you're giving the ball to.
It's a first down in the red zone now. They're at the 18-yard line. From the left hash to the point now Reed is waiting till the play clock runs way down. Fumble, trouble on the handoff, a rare miscue in the backfield, and a no gain as Reed was able to jump on it quickly.
I think the ball hit him right in the hands because it bounced up.
Yeah.
He took a bounce on the ground. Fortunately for Wells, they fell on the ball.
So he loses about a half yard. Reed has only lost 1 fumble on the season. Just 1 turnover for their junior quarterback. Give him credit for jumping on that one quickly. Less than 10 to go. Reed back under center on 2nd and about 11. He goes to Rasmussen left side. Rasmussen slips through, still on his feet at the 7-yard line.
Now he's over 100 yards. When I played football in high school, we ran that formation, and the backs were numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the holes were, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
And the quarterback, when in our huddle, just said 1, 5, and that was the one back in the 5 hole. and
that simplifies it.
We had no pass plays.
It's simple as it gets.
We didn't have any ends to throw it to.
Third and short now inside the 10-yard line for Wells. And spot him at the 9. Again, just waiting to the closing seconds of the play clock with just over 9 minutes to go. They go to Rasmussen again. Off tackle left side. He's got the first down. Up to the 3. 6 yards for Rasmussen.
Brotherton with the stop.
I think, let's see, it puts him what, at 110?
Yeah, I got him at 115.
Okay, 115.
So,
oh, there's the 5, yeah. 115.
On 11 carries, too. 257 total rushing yards for this Wells team.
You got 104 for Andler and 115 for Rasmussen. There's 219, just those 2 guys, both over 100.
And right along the lines of their averages, 42 pass yards. And that's all they've needed. And they go up the middle for the touchdown. A stand-up touchdown for Wyatt Andler. His 3rd touchdown of the game. 13 now on the season for the junior.
The time on that, 8:23 left in the game.
That was a long drive spanning about 6 minutes. And they go for 2, a 42-13 lead for Wells. Reed kept it, he's looking to throw. Now he'll run left side. Plenty of room to walk in for 2 more. Guardians offense that averages 38 a game, which is 5th in the state in 6A. They're up to 44 points.
And a 31-point lead with 8:23 left to go.
Wells putting together a fantastic season. building on last year, which was their best record since 2015. Even better this year. This will be win number 6. See what Lincoln can learn from this game. Some bright spots for the Cardinals. There's always moral victories. Of course, Lincoln wanted a real victory here, but it brings some bright spots to look at in this game. You think about that physical front defensively for Wells. It's not easy to run the ball. Opponents against Wells are averaging just 4 yards a carry. But Togney today has been able to run for 124. So Lincoln can lean on that and say, hey, that's a great Wells defense, and we were able to run the ball pretty well. Probably a topic of conversation for first-year head coach Cody Schnaufer and Lincoln.
In spite of how much we've talked about the running backs for Wells, the leading rusher in the game is Emmett Togney at 124.
Got runs of 56, 23, and 18 in this game. So with 8:23 to go, here's the kick deep. Kind of a pooch kick short, and Parker Barnett will have a chance to return. Looking for a block. Barnett, the speedster, across the 40, cuts towards the sideline. Barnett, another terrific return. Past midfield and mark him at the 46-yard line.
One of the highlights of the Cardinals season has been the kick returning, both on punts and on kickoffs of Parker Barnett, particularly kickoffs. He's had some big ones. There's another one.
The team's leading receiver this year. An electric weapon as a return man. Fun to watch with the ball in his hands. So he's spotted at the 47-yard line with 8:12 to go.
I like how Barnett picks his spots, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a plan.
Yeah, some kickoff returners you just see running a straight beeline, but he kind of looks for the hole. He's got great vision. And now with ball at the left hash, Liam Eldridge in the offense with a group of 4 receivers out right. Eldridge looking that way. It's not there. He's got to scramble. Pressure on him. He's running way back inside his own 30. Pressure on him inside the 20. Got to get rid of it. Eldridge still with it. Oh, he's thrown down. Marcellus Griffiths finally chases him down. It's a loss.
33-yard loss.
Thank you. Quick math. Well done. 33-yard loss.
You know, you got to get rid of the ball, you know. Loss of 33.
He had multiple opportunities to throw it away.
So it is second down and another area code.
Yes. They got to make 42 yards now. A 2nd and 42. Back at their own 21-yard line. Eldridge takes the snap, looking to throw towards the sideline, in the air, and almost intercepted. Griffin Scott looking for his 2nd pick of the game. Incomplete.
Incomplete. Third down.
2 first-half interceptions for this Wells defense. One from Mercereau and one from Scott. Four wide. Eldridge takes a snap, throws to the sideline. Oh, what a catch! Parker Barnett with one hand to the 37, 16-yard completion, one of the highlights of the game.
Third down.
Barnett's first catch.
Correction, 4th down.
Wow. Team's leading receiver on the year now, 168 receiving yards. Making a spectacular play there, adding on to his kick return performance today.
Barnett, a senior. Let's see, that's 42 yards passing now for the Cardinal. 2 16-yard receptions for, one 16 for Barnett, one for.
Throw it on 4th and long. Griffin Scott's got his 2nd pick of the game, looking to return it again. Scott took one of the house in the first half. This time he's taken down on the sideline. Eldridge had to let it fly on 4th and 28 to no avail.
4th turnover for the Cardinal, a fumble loss and 3 interceptions.
been a little bit of an issue this year for Lincoln, as they're now up to 16 turnovers on the season. 9 picks and 7 fumbles.
First and 10.
Had a pick on their opening offensive drive that helped kind of build the momentum of Wells early on in this game. So a first and 10 for Wells at the Lincoln 39-yard line from the left hash. Up the middle, looking for a hole, nowhere to go. It's a no gain for Mac McCarter.
By Holland and Oxford.
Oxford on the tackle that time, and he wrapped his arms around the ball carrier, took him down.
Oxford has been involved in a lot of tackles today. A tough linebacker. He was shaken up earlier, but has not really missed very many snaps at all on defense. Wells' last drive took about 6 minutes. They got a chance here to take some more time off the clock unless they get a big gain here, and they do. Andler down to the 12. Actually, that's Litwin. Spencer Litwin, the senior, with a touchdown earlier. Takes that one for a gain of 27 yards.
You mentioned 8 different ball carriers, and all of them have been successful at doing it.
Yep. 8 different ball carriers, all with at least 2 carries. So it's
Litwin has 34 yards on 3 carries and a touchdown.
Litwin with his first rushing touchdown of the season earlier in this game. So first and 10 at the 12. They go up the gut. Back to McCarter. Bouncing off a couple defenders into the 3. 9 yards for Mac McCarter. That's actually, now that's 9 ball carriers when you count the quarterback. McCarter has 2 carries on this drive.
Second down.
Reed took a sack, so he has 4 carries for no yards, but everybody else has been productive.
So it is a 2nd and 1 here from the 3-yard line. Under 5 to go. Wells coming off a season high 54 points on Friday. Chance to hit 50 again. They go middle to McCarter, and he got a first down as he fights to the 1-yard line.
First and goal.
McCarter does have 1 rushing touchdown this year. They're trying to get him his 2nd. A chance for Wells to take even more time off this clock. Reed waits to the closing seconds of the play clock under center and hands it off right side. Thrown down. Litwin is short. Well defended by the Cardinals. Conrad Kelsey on the tackle.
Second and goal.
Gain of about a foot. That's it.
Kelsey with a big stop that time. Litwin was trying to get in the end zone.
Got to give credit to Lincoln, just down 31 points here, playing with so much effort, showing the heart here down the stretch.
What I've liked about Lincoln this year is no matter what, they have stayed tough right till the end.
First-year head coach Cody Schnaufer, previously 3 years as an assistant at Mountainside. He was an assistant at Wells too. Has his team playing hard.
Did you see that?
Yeah, they pinched the offensive line in, and there's multiple flags.
And that may be a procedure call, but just before the snap, they all pinched in so that there was no gap between anybody.
Yeah, that was incredible to have the offensive linemen all pinch in. I'm not sure I've seen that.
I've never seen that.
That's innovation from 4th-year head coach Keith Bennett and his staff. You didn't even see that in the NFL. That's
a
unique idea there.
The lineman splits were 0.
Yes. Maybe the officials were just so thrown off by it, they're thinking that has to be flagged. But they will march it off. It is a penalty.
Illegal shift.
Illegal shift is the call.
You think?
Remains second down.
I think the referee was saying, I've never seen that before. Somebody throw a flag.
Yes. That's got to be a penalty.
Yeah, that has to be a penalty.
Love the idea. You can tell what they're trying to do. Stack up a bunch of big bodies in the middle and
That's what
lean your quarterback in.
That's exactly what they were doing.
But instead of the QB sneak touchdown behind those massive bodies, they're pushed back to the 5. Clock stops at 3:22. Reed hands it off to Litwin. Litwin stops
Litwin
short
with the
again.
You know, what I'm thinking about was when they lined up there, both their tight ends had taken just a step back so that they weren't on the line. And then as they pinched in, they were both moving. They were in motion.
So that's where the illegal shift comes in.
Yeah, they shifted 2 players at the same time in the backfield.
That would be a fun one to break down with the coaches.
Right,
Maybe
I
if
like
there
that.
was enough time in between when they snapped it, but they snapped it pretty quickly.
Right. I want to talk to them about that.
Uh-oh, another flag.
Flag down on
This
the
time
play.
it's-
Yep.
I think it's an offside, so the ball's going to be moved forward about 2 centimeters for half the distance to the goal. Well, I guess you might as well try to get an early jump. Ball being moved forward doesn't really do anything.
Right. And here, how is a defensive penalty going to hurt you?
Yeah.
It's half the distance of the goal line. You know, you can take that to infinity.
.220 to go. And there's another flag.
Flag down on the play.
We might have this entire game clock run out just on penalties and
False start. Wells.
moving back and forth.
This one, though, is a false start on Wells.
Yeah, it was that left side. So that turned out to be a genius offsides penalty by Lincoln. Pushed him back to the 5-yard line.
Third down.
It was 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Reed's under center. They go to McCarter. McCarter able to get in for the score. Back-to-back weeks of 50 points for the Wells Guardians. One of the state's best offenses with another spectacular showing.
152 the time on that.
Mac McCarter with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. So a little bit of time to operate for Lincoln's offense. Get the ball
Remember
back.
now, we're over 35 points, so there should be a running clock going after this.
So here's the knee on the 2. Keith Bennett will take a knee instead of going for the 2-point conversion to keep his team at 50. One of our sponsors of this broadcast, Garfinkel Orthodontics. Celebrating 50 years of helping Portland smile. Dr. Judah, who's a Lincoln High School alum from 1992, and the entire team at Garfinkel Orthodontics are proud to support Lincoln High School and excited to help your family smile. Complimentary consultations at garfinkelortho.com.
You know, that shows some class by Coach Bennett. Coach Bennett that time, rather than take that 2-point conversion, just kneeled down and said,
Yeah.
hey, you know, a minute to play, we're up 50 to 13. Let's just kneel down, and I respect that.
Yeah. Our broadcast also brought to you by Elite Real Estate. Michelle Sheehan, our dedicated realtor at Elite Real Estate, strongly supports Cardinal football, just like a strong offensive line does. Ready to score your next home? Make contact with her today, Michelle Sheehan and Elite Real Estate, one of our sponsors here on Oregon Sports Beat. .151 on the clock. Late player coming on for Lincoln for their 11th. It's A.J. Reverman. Kick short, bounces off the chest of a Lincoln player, and Wells is on it. The adventure continues on kickoffs. Snuck in a little squib. They were sick of seeing Parker Barnett run the ball over midfield.
Rasmussen with recovery.
So that's more of what Wells was going for. Early in the game, they were trying those squibs, and they weren't working well. That time it did. So the Guardians can run the clock out. Of course, it is a running clock, so we're at 1:08 and counting here.
If they run the clock down here, they may only have to run one play after this. That's what they're doing. They're going to run the clock down right to the end. Then they may just have to take a snap.
Snap to Spencer Reed. He takes a knee. And they'll, like you said, I think we have to take one more snap to end this game in what will be a 50-13 win for Wells.
They might as well stay right there and snap the ball now, and then they can just walk off. They don't have to let the clock run down, because then we won't have to snap it again. And that's what they're going to do. You're just going to get up there, kneel down, snap it. That's it.
Third straight win for Wells over Lincoln. And the Guardians do it in pretty dominant fashion here in 2023. Saw some big runs, big plays, a pick six, a mascot fight, and through it all, it's the Guardians improving to 6-1 on the season, 5-0 in the PIL. Lincoln falls to 2-5 and 2-3 in Portland Interscholastic League play here this season.
Lincoln was tied with Franklin coming into tonight, 2-2 in the PIL. They're now 2-3, and they're 2-5 overall. Wells was tied with Roosevelt for first. They both were 4-0, 5-1 overall. Wells is now 5-0 in the PIL and 6-1 overall. Roosevelt tonight was playing McDaniel, who is 1-3 and 2-4 overall. So you're going to have to see some wins in the last two games for Lincoln, as we're going to play Grant next week, and then the season-ending game will be against Cleveland. The good thing is both those games will be right here at Mike Walsh Field.
Yeah, what a chance for Lincoln to come and end the 2023 season with some bright spots, as they'll host Grant and Cleveland. And head coach Cody Schnaufer hopes he can learn from this game, break down the film, and make some improvements moving forward.
Are you okay on commercials? Have we got all of our sponsors?
I think we're good to go. Yeah, we're okay on sponsors, and it's thanks for having me. I appreciate being here, and congrats to Wells on this impressive win, another PIL victory.
All right, we got some people want to thank, of course, the Lincoln High School for their hospitality, the athletic department here at Lincoln. Want to thank our halftime guest, Heather Seeley Roberts, both head coaches who we had a chance to talk to before the game, head coach Keith Bennett of Wells, and head coach Cody Schnaufer of the Lincoln Cardinal. Our crew tonight up on the second floor is our producer and cameraman Ryan Johnson, running all this electronic equipment and things that I don't even know how they work. That's Steve Roberts, my broadcast partner tonight, Chris Clayton. Chris, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Oh, I think Wells, the math is not in their favor right now in terms of the RPI, the Cauley, and the OSAA ratings. But, man, this has got to be a top 10 at least team in the state the way they're able to run the Power T. So everybody in the PIL should have higher OSAA ratings, I think. Great execution for the Guardians.
All right, I want to remind everybody, we are Oregon Sports Beat. You can go to our website, OregonSportsBeat.com. We have calendars up each month which show you what games we have, the date, the location, and the start time. We are going to be with you 3 times next week. On Tuesday night, we'll be at Central Catholic High School, a 6:30 start time for girls volleyball. Steve and I will be doing that. On Thursday night, we'll also be back at Central Catholic again for a makeup volleyball game. That will be a 6:30 start time. And then next Friday night, we'll be back here at Lincoln High School as the Lincoln Cardinal will take on the Grant Generals. That's our broadcast tonight from Lincoln High School. Our final score in PIL action, it was Wells 50, Lincoln 13. Good night, everybody.